Welcome to another video from DIY Daily. We've just been sent the ARTIDIAG 600S from Topdon, and we're just going to do a quick unboxing and review on the unit and see what it's all about. Just to start with, we'll just do the unboxing, run you through what's in there, then we'll get it plugged into a vehicle, see what the functions and capabilities are, and see what it can do. Right, so let's get it open and see what's in here. Right, so you can just see we've got a little padded case for it. It has got a bit of foam in there, so it's got a bit of protection on it. It is quite a nice size case as well. It's not too tight. I hate cases when it's too tight and you can barely get the unit in it once you've had them out. But yeah, we've got the actual unit itself just in there. Let's have a look. Instructions. I'll have a bit of a scan of them later. Then we've got the cable. Obviously we're going to need that. I mean, depending on how often you're using it, I like to leave these cables plugged in all the time, so I like to be able to put the unit away with the cable plugged in it. It's pretty unlikely that you're going to be disconnecting that every time you're using it. And it's also got the power cable there as well. Just a USB-C it is. So that's quite handy. Obviously a lot of stuff's on USB-C now. And just before we turn it on, we'll just have a little bit of a scan and just see if we can actually put it in the bag with the cable on there as well. Yeah, so it does actually go in the bag quite nicely with the cable attached. Right, so just looking at the unit itself, basically all we've got is just a power button there, an OK button, a back, and then the arrows on there. I imagine this is going to be pretty straightforward to use, but we'll get it over to a vehicle and just see what functions we've got there. But there is a cover there, and you can see that's just got the USB charge port in there as well. I don't think there's anything else in there. Nope, and that's it. So yeah, let's just get it over to a vehicle, get it plugged in now, and see what functions it's got on it. Right, so we've just come through to the workshop and found a 2016 Ford Ranger to plug the diagnostic machine into. Now, as soon as we've plugged the machine into the EOBD plug, it's powered the machine up. Now, I've just skipped a stage. Basically, until you've registered the machine or logged in, it won't let you use any functions. So I've got my own login details already, so I just simply had to enter my username and password. But without that, it takes about a minute or two to register that, so then you can log in. And once you've logged in, you've then got full access to everything that you need to. But yeah, let's just have a quick look and just see what's on the machine. So you can see we've got user info there. It's got firmware update, customer feedback, shop info, system update, and the settings option there. And you can also, which is quite handy on all these Topdon machines, you have the main update on the main screen there, which is just nice and easy. I always just quickly check on that, and if there's any updates there, if you're connected to the Wi-Fi, just run through any updates. We've got a library there, which has got a DTC repair guide, a warning light library, technical service bulletin, and a to find the locations of the EOBD plugs there, which is always quite handy as well. On top of that, we've got a folder, and you can just see we've got a few options in here. Basically, we've got reports, replay data, screenshots if you took any screenshots, screen recordings, quick support, and then you've got a quick tab to go to Google Chrome page as well. We've got battery voltage. You can see that's just showing at the minute. We've just got the ignition on, so you can see we're on 12 volts there. Let's just strike it up. That should then alter obviously as well. You can see that's now registered that, so you can use that for just checking the voltage as well. If we go back out of that. Now we've got a maintenance there, which I think this is a quick guide to some of the maintenance functions that you can do, like the oil light reset and stuff like that. So you can see we've got oil on there, throttle if there's any programming, electronic parking brake, steering, injector, must be for injector coding, battery monitoring system, ABS, and any DPF, so it'll be like regens and stuff like that. Other than that, we've got the two scan options, but the main one that you really want to always be going into, and we'll have a look into this, There's diagnostics there. Now once you go into diagnostics, you've got the full range of vehicles to check from. And what you can do, which makes it really nice and easy, is just click on the VIN there and basically just do auto VIN. That'll just scan the car and it should narrow all the details down correctly. You see that's come up with the chassis, just confirm that. As you can just see, it's picked it up, 2015 Ford Ranger, the 3.2. So just confirm that. And if we do, basically, at this screen now, I'll normally always do auto scan, which just scans all the ECUs that this machine will read. But you can see we've got individual control units there, hot functions, which is specific coding items. Again, like it showed on the first screen there, so we'll just go back out of that. Vehicle profile and service. So we just go into auto scan. That should then just scan all the ECUs that this machine will read. See, that's quickly scanned through there. It's not picked up any faults at all. But the modules that this is capable of reading on this Ford Ranger, you can see we've got the basically the engine ECU, the ABS system, the airbag control module, accessory protocol module, parking aid module, trailer module, and the gateway module. Now this will vary on different vehicles to what you can read, but the main ones that this is going to be really good for is the engine control module, the ABS, and the airbag. But if you just go into the engine, you'll see basically we can read the fault codes. We know that's already clear anyway, so we're not going to read that. But if we just show you what's available on the data stream, it looks like it's going to take a little while to load up. Normally these Fords have quite a lot of information available, so I'm not going to scan through them all, but let's just see how many options it comes through or how many sensors and readings that it can read. Right, so just sped through that quickly, but as you can see, just looking at the little tab on the side there, there's actually quite a lot of different readings on there, so I'm not going to run through all them individually, but I'll just quickly have a glance through just so you can see some of the readings on there. It's always quite handy looking at data. If you've got a fault, certainly if you've got a fault without any actual fault codes, the first thing you really ought to be doing is just looking through the data and just looking for anything that doesn't quite look right. Especially like temperature readings. If you've got certain issues, you might have a temperature sensor that's reading out but not reading wrong, but not actually logging any fault codes. So you've got some DPF information on there, EGR. See how many. Normally, from writing this, the Fords normally have about 400 different readings on there, but you can see already we've only got down to there. So we'll just go back out of that. Let's just have a look in the ABS and just see what's available on there. So one of the main functions with ABS where you want to be looking into the data is like wheel speed or something like that. So if you're checking for any ABS faults, so you can drive down the road and look at the individual wheel speeds. Let's have a look. I presume the wheel speed should be on there. Yeah, see it's itemised separately, but you've got left front wheel speed there, left rear wheel speed, and then I think the fronts will be somewhere else. Yeah, and then you got your two front right ones there as well, but you can see you've got a little tick box there, so you can sort of select like the four wheels if you wanted to, and then take it onto another window. I couldn't quite see how to get them to the next window, but looking at this, I've got them in like a graph mode now, and you can select up to 4. So you can see I've only selected the 2 on there, but it is available. Just wanted to check that that was available to do that, because it's quite a nice feature. But yeah, it is available on there. So we'll just go back out of that now, and we'll just go into the hot functions, just to show you what's available with some of the engine stuff. So we can do oil reset on there. DPF regeneration. So let's have a look. This is going to be quite an handy thing for any DPF work, which is obviously quite a common issue now, quite a common sort of feature that you're going to need out of a diagnostic machine. But yeah, you can reset the values for the DPF, reset the differential pressure sensor values, and then you can actually do a static DPF regen as well, which is quite an handy feature. And again, just check that injector code in. Yes, you can, that should be, yeah, you can do the individual injector coding as well, which is quite handy on there as well. I'll just exit back out of that. Right, so I just skipped that a minute. I just basically accidentally went fully out the vehicle rather than going back. But that's shown some of the main features on there and some of the hot functions, some of the data that you can get. Obviously, running through everything will take a lot more time. But if you want to know any information specifically about it, you can always put a comment in the description and I'll reply to it. But yeah, as you can see, it's quite a useful, handy unit. It's a nice size. It's going to be really best for like a DIY mechanic. Nowadays, on modern vehicles, you can't really deal with just a code reader. You do need to have access to a few more functions. Certainly, like the DPF work, doing DPF regens, and obviously reading wheel speeds and stuff like that can be quite crucial sometimes. Just looking at the data on there as well. But again, if you're going to get a bit more involved, like fitting injectors. Most injectors out there are coded now, so you need that coding function, which appears to be available on this machine as well. And again, some of the service resets, they're available on the machine as well, which is always quite handy. So, but yeah, I think if you're a little bit more involved and you're doing a lot of repairs, you're going to need something a little bit more advanced. But really, this is quite a decent machine for the price, for the average sort of DIY mechanic out there. Now, for me, I use a more advanced, do use a Topdon machine, but I use the Phoenix Lite 3, which does have a lot more functions on there and will read a lot more ECUs. So it's really handy for me to have all them functions available. But this is the sort of thing, for the amount of work that I do, I'd probably keep it in my vehicle most of the time, so that I can just do anything on the side of the road if I need to, or anything at home. It's got sort of most of the functions on there that you're likely to use for some of the basic work, that's all. But yeah, as overall, quite a decent unit really, and so it's probably quite good value for money for what it is. Obviously, anything a bit more advanced, you are going to be looking at hiking the price up a bit. So, but yeah, hope you liked the review. If you did, give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.